Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today after a brief hiatus is Jennifer Zeng. You have seen her before on our channel, and we're going to be talking about a very important topic: the state of health of Xi Jinping. What has happened? What has changed? Is he still alive? Is he not alive? If not, then what is going to happen? If he's still alive, why is he not appearing in any public shows, or did he appear? So there are lots of controversies going on. So we're going to have Jennifer explain it to us chronologically what happened from the time the third plenum session began on the 15th of July. So here's Jennifer Zeng. Jennifer, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me again.
Jennifer, the pleasure is all ours. You've been covering extensively what has been happening on the third plenum session about the state of health of Xi Jinping. And I asked some of my China expert friends, and they basically looked like they were quoting from you. So you have suddenly become the source of all this information. So kind of walk us through the third plenum session, much delayed because I think Xi Jinping wanted better economic news so that he could go to this session and say, we are going to have a better economy in the future, whatever, post-COVID. So something happened there. Talk to us from the 15th, what happened after it began.
Yes, on the day of the opening of the, as you said, much anticipated and repeatedly delayed third plenary session, I think suddenly, firstly, there was a very vague message, but from a very, I think, important, you can say a VIP level person, Professor Zhang Ming from Renmin University of China. He posted a one-sentence post saying, "Something big, let the bullets fly." So nobody really know what's that meaning, but because given his status, he's a professor of one of the most important university in China, which is known as training top CCP officials, and many current CCP top advisors either graduated from that university or are still working in that university. So something from him regarded as must be, if he says something big has happened, something big must have happened. And then later on, there appeared an anonymous, post from a nobody, or he's just using a fake name, but there are a lot of details in that. As with code language, he said, in the shareholders meeting, my second uncle suddenly had a stroke, and the backbone of the group went into chaos, and he gave a lot of detail. And then he said, for some people, they wish my uncle could go away or could die sooner, but for a lot of other people who are fully awakened, we hope, I belong to the latter, he said, I hope he can live longer so that he can complete his mission, that to eliminate or drive to death all the stakeholders and the brainwashed shareholders. So from that very vague language, and also he posted a photo of what looked like a dead pig, and saying something like, notify the family or comrades, we can start celebrating, or you can start cooking, and there is a pork on there. So people, because in China, every Xi Jinping's name and maybe thousands of code word that referred to Xi Jinping was censored. So there's no possibility he dares to mention directly the name of Xi Jinping. But I think exactly because the nature, he tried to use code language, but of course everybody understands what he's talking about. So suddenly people are starting to speculating, oh, it must be something wrong from about Xi Jinping. And also, given Xi Jinping did look like he once had a stroke, we see videos of him walking down the airplane when he visited, I think, America, San Francisco last year, and in May this year when he visited France and other European countries, he didn't walk steadily. And there, I think, in 2022, there were reports, I think, at that time widely covered by a lot of English mainstream media as well, like he had some problem with his brain. So given all these conditions, people start to spreading the message that he had a stroke. And also another thing is this year, they impose, I think, stricter information blockage or control over the third plenary session. So the venue, it was a closed door meeting. Nobody is allowed to approach the venue. And on the side, even the people, there were hundreds of people attending this meeting, but their cell phone were confiscated. Nobody is allowed to have a cell phone, and they even have some kind of electrical, magnetic, and radio interference in the site. So no whatever information can be transmitted from inside the meeting. So because of the secrecy nature, and because I think many people are hoping that something would happen to Xi Jinping soon. So everybody just eagerly spread the message like mad on the internet, and even the search index for stroke on Baidu suddenly jumped so high. I think it raised hundreds or thousands of times, and then on the next day it got blocked. So while on the other hand, all the rumors are spreading, and on the one hand, the rumors are spreading like mad, but on the other hand, there are no words from the official and no photos, no pictures, no videos of Xi Jinping or anything inside the meeting. So for several days, you can imagine the spread. It doubled and doubled and tripled. So for 3 or 4 days, nobody has any evidence that can debunk the rumor or can prove that Xi Jinping has not had a stroke. So of course, the rumor has its own ring, it fly all over the world. I think that's basically because the CCP's own opaque or their own control of information. And on the other hand, he did show some sign of a stroke before. And on the third reason is a lot of people do wish that his death can bring some change to the current desperate situation of Chinese people. So that's why everybody was eagerly spreading this, whether or rumor or not. Even now, still a lot of people still believe he did have a stroke.
In this whole thing, on the 15th, it is believed that he was there and
Yes.
he started speaking. And that's where the versions start diverging. One says that he fell down while he was speaking. There's another version that says that he was walking downstairs and he tripped and fell, but he fell several steps, and then he lost consciousness and he had to be taken to the emergency. So these are two versions I have.
Yes.
Now, what is more likely in your opinion? I'm not going to hold you to it. What is more likely in your opinion? One. Second is, there were rumors of him resurfacing on the 18th. So please answer both those.
Yes. So I can hardly say whether I believe it or I don't believe it, but since it spread so widely and so many people are believing it, and I do think there is some like value in letting the world know that such kind of rumor was spreading on the Chinese internet like mad, because if there is something happening, it will greatly impact not only China but the world. So I think I should at least know, let the world know that there is such rumors, and what evidence they have, or what the evidence they are lacking, or what we should look for to either prove or disprove this information. Of course, everybody is waiting, because on the closing day, it's according to the past year's experience, on the last day, and when the meeting closes, the official media would start reporting it. So everybody was waiting for the closing day to see whether Xi Jinping appeared on the TV, or they released any photos of the meeting. And interesting, very interestingly, because we are behind Beijing, so on the 19th July, I think July 19th, 18th, which was on the morning, I woke up, I checked the Xinhua Net. Yes, they have published the communique of the third plenary session, but without any photos and videos. It's just text. It's already in the morning, so for me, it's already in the morning, like 7 or 6 o'clock. So for China, it's evening time. So the meeting should already be over, because the communique was already released, but there was no photo and no video. So people started to wildly believe that there must be something wrong. Otherwise, why there would no video, no images, no videos? And later, after I think about after several minutes or 10 minutes or something, when I check again, they added photos to that text report. But what struck me was they only have a photo of Xi Jinping walking into the venue, and a lot of other very general photos. And the photo, I noticed the photo caption they gave to all these photos are the same. They only say from July 15th to July 18th, the third plenary meeting was held in Beijing. They didn't tell you on which day those photos were taken. So it could be if they were taken on the first day, those photos could not disprove that Xi Jinping had a stroke after he gave a speech, because we didn't know when or where these photos were taken. And I think they purposely didn't let us know. And I think the last thing that make many people convinced that he did attend the meeting was the video they released on the evening news at 9 o'clock on the day when the session was closed. So in that video, you can see Xi Jinping and other top leaders walking into the venue. They sit on their seats, and they raise their hands and they claps. And there were also some videos of Xi Jinping attending some smaller scale discussions. And I think there were at least 2 different sessions he attended, because we can see he appeared at 2 different locations, and the people sitting behind him, like 𝗤𝙧𝙬 was always on his left side, but the person on his right side changed. So at least we can see he attended 3 different occasions. One is either the opening or closing big scale meeting, seems like in the Great Hall of the People, and 2 smaller discussions. So from this, I think it can tell us that maybe the rumor of him having a stroke on the first day after giving an opening speech is probably not true, because obviously he attended meetings should be on the second day, unless he was rushed to the hospital and sent back to the meeting on the same day. That's how he could attend the meetings on the second day. But of course, some people were still not convinced by this video. Some say they used the opening session video or images to replace the to claiming them to be the closing session, and some are doing very detailed analysis of regarding the people's closing on the third day and on the first day are totally or are exactly the same. So they are still not convinced, and there were still, I think, very influential people, including like Mr. 𝗼𝗚, which I quoted. He was a former CCP official. He was once the legal counsel for 𝗤𝗏𝘅, who was once chosen as Xi Jinping's successor. So he had high-level inside information. And also Professor 𝗤𝗪𝗪, who was a former professor of CCP's party school. They were still spreading the message that Xi did have a stroke. But for me, I tend to believe maybe even if he had a stroke, maybe it's a very minor one. The proof is he was able to attend the meeting on the second day at least, or maybe the closing session as well. But something still, I think, very, you can say very wrong, or there are still subtle changes you can notice in how they report about stuff. Today, when I go to search, because if he appeared on the closing session, the next thing to watch is when he will be able to make his next public appearance, right? That's also a very important sign to watch. So this morning, I searched for videos and photos of him, and I found one on the top position of the Xinhua's front page. So it is featured at the top. And then I check the CCTV news. It's also the same report, and it's a video one showing him hosting a meeting. So I thought, because the report appeared today, so I thought it was an event he was attending today. But I checked the date on Xinhua report. It says that event was on May 20th. So
Not,
I assumed,
July.
not July, May 20th. So I even commented, I posted a post, I did a screenshot, and I even post on my X and YouTube account. I said, once people say the only thing you can trust with the CCP newspapers are their date, I say now they are not even get the date wrong, or they can't even get the date right. I assumed that Xinhua made a mistake about the date. But then I checked the CCTV report, and I check other information, and then I realized it was indeed an event that happened on May 20th. But somehow, for whatever reason, they choose to post it today. So that's the first sign. I think it's very strange. Another subtle difference is I check all the headlines of Xinhua and CCTV. So usually when I check all those things, most of the time it's Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, and occasionally there is one or two pieces of other leaders. But today, the only one about Xi Jinping was an old event, and all the other news are about other top CCP leaders like Li Qiang, the premier, and Wang Hunin, the chairman of the People's Political Consultative Conference, and Zhao Leji, the discipline, the People's Congress chairman. and the vice Ding Xuexiang, the vice premier, and a lot of so I never see that so many officials appeared at the headline session, and on the CCTV there were even 2 pieces of 𝗤𝙑𝗁𝗁𝗁 and 2 pieces of Wang Huning. So it seems that Xi Jinping's importance was downgraded in the way how they present the reports. That's something I think quite different from what we usually noticed. And of course, the third strange thing is, which you mentioned, Xi Jinping didn't send a condolence message to to Vietnam. And I think we check the historical records. It shows when the previous 3 general secretary of Vietnam died, every time he sent condolence message. But this time it's sent on behalf of the Central Committee of the party. And another thing I noticed in the communique of the third session was that when they mentioned Marxism, Leninism, and Mao Zedong thought, in the recent past CCP document, they were immediately jumped from Xi Jinping, from Mao Zedong to Xi Jinping. They were skipped all the like Deng Xiaoping, Jiang Zemin, and Hu Jintao, the 3 leaders in between. They didn't mention them anymore, only Mao and Xi Jinping. But this time, every single one of them were mentioned. So that, I think, is also a sign of Xi Jinping must have got some pushback from inside the party. And also another very important thing to notice, as I mentioned, all the names of the leaders who appeared on the headlines of Xinhua and CCTV, only one person, and the second more important person in the CCP's top level, 𝗤𝗪𝗓, his name is nowhere to be seen on today's headline reports. So that is very unusual or abnormal, because usually, now everybody understand, although 𝗤𝗪𝗓 is the 5th ranked standing committee CCP Politburo member, but his power is the second. His power is only second to Xi Jinping, but his name is nowhere to be seen in today's headline news.
Former Foreign Minister Qin Gang, any news about him?
Foreign Qin Gang, oh yes, I think that's a very important discovery of us in the communique as well. It was mentioned Comrade Qin Gang was, he, upon his own request, he stepped down from his position as a member of the Central Communist Party. So many people understood that from this message is that he has had a soft landing. He was not expelled from the party, or maybe it indicates, one, he's still alive, not dead as previously reported by some, I think, Western media. And 2, he got a soft land. He was not transferred to the Li Shangfu and Wei Fenghe, 2 former defense minister of the CCP. They were expelled from the party and they were transferred to the military court. So they would be sentenced. They are criminals now. But Qin Gang, he is only resigned from his position, and he still maintained his title as a comrade of the CCP. So maybe he can at least he will not be sent to jail, or he may even given a small or a lower level job in the future. And people say maybe his attitude, or maybe they didn't find a bigger problem, maybe only just some affairs with that TV host of Phoenix TV, and not as serious as other leaders who were regarded as betraying the CCP, or selling maybe information, or huge corruption crime and disloyalty to the party. For him, maybe it's just a personal issue. And also people think maybe Xi Jinping wants to preserve his own face because Xinjiang was given some extraordinary promotion by Xi Jinping himself. Anyway, so maybe he got a soft land. But of course, some people still insist it does not prove that he is still alive. He could be dead, but unless he appeared somewhere publicly, so they can still put that text in that document, it means nothing. So that's the situation with Qinggang.
Thank you so much. And viewers, we'll be following and monitoring this very closely. And we might have Jennifer come back and explain a few things. I do have a couple of her tweets where she has given an extensive documentation, evidence, videos, talking about this whole thing. And I'll give those links in the description area so you can go take a look at it. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And as always, a pleasure having you on our platform. Namaskar.
Thank you.